Alrighty, what do we have going on here? So the serpentine belt started making some noise, and there's a few things going on. One, I noticed this belt was so long that the previous owner had on the car that the tensioner was completely maxed out and wasn't really even putting any tension on the belt. So that was one issue, but the bigger issue was this AC compressor. I went ahead and started pulling off the clutch. Look at this part here. The surfaces look fine. I measured the clearance with a feeler gauge before I pulled it off. That was good. This bearing, well, it's not the greatest, but it's not the cause of problems. I'm going to replace it, but there's something else going on. So looking closer, after I got all that off, I find this. The electrical coil is just wobbling all over here. And because of that movement, this inner piece was interfering on here. They were making some contact, getting real hot and binding up at times. I saw it bind completely one time with the AC off, and the belt was squealing, slipping around this pulley because it wasn't turning. Then it freed up. Found the problem. It's this guy. There's a snap ring in here. I can't reach because of clearance in here, so I'm going to go ahead and unbolt the compressor and lift it up so I can get inside here. We'll get that snap ring out, and then we'll see what we need to do to repair this. It's no immediate failure I'm seeing here. It's almost like it's the wrong part. It doesn't fit quite right. Clean out some of this gunk and dirt so I can take a better look. Look at that. Problem is fixed. Well, that was an easy one. It's on there solid now. I couldn't see it before because there was so much dirt and grime in here, but it was as simple as the snap ring was just not put in correctly. And I can see why. It was quite a struggle. I'm guessing someone just gave up or just partially put it in thinking they had it in. But now this is on here solid. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a grindiness to it. I mean, you can still get some service out of that, but it's pointless. It's going to fail in the near future. Let's see if we can get that replaced and we'll get this put back together. We should be in good shape. So initially I was looking at replacing this bearing in here. When I looked at it a little closer, I realized the bearing was pressed in from this side. They went ahead and staked the bearing in there. So this is going to be kind of a pain to get it out. You're going to have to grind out these stakes, press it out, then you're going to spend, I don't know, $20 on a new bearing. And then you have to figure out how to restake it back in there. Not the end of the world, but kind of a waste of time. I started looking at the rest of the kit closer, and I started noticing this had a lot of what I initially thought was dirt I could clean off, but it's actually this plasticky rubber surface is all being melted and pulled up. And if you compare it to the replacement, you can really see the difference. This clearly got way too hot when it came loose with that C-clip and it was dragging in here. That friction got super hot in here. So this is probably just a failure waiting to happen. At this point I decided, with all the effort of trying to unstake that, change the bearing, and possibly just trying to limp along a failed part, it didn't make any sense. So I just grabbed a replacement. They're easily available, readily available at the local auto parts store. I think about 70 bucks or so. And we'll just put on a whole new system and be done with all those problems and should be good. Okay, well, this feels like round 2, only with a new part. And except this time we have a hardware kit, so I get a brand new C-clip to go in there, which will probably be twice as hard to get in as the first one. Perfect. Next we get the pulley on. little bit of back and forth pressure on the sides, and it's slipping in. If it's really tight, you could use a block of wood and lightly tap it in. A rubber mallet. In fact, I may have to get the very final amount on here. Well, let's see. This is not all the way down because there's another C-clip to get on there, and it's not quite. I believe that's fully seated. Just make sure it's actually clipped in all the way around. Yep. Looks good. Now with this final clutch piece, when it goes on here, you have to check the clearance, so it can't just sit flush up against the pulley. These surfaces can't be touching. We need a certain air gap. Usually I shoot for around 15 to 30 thousandths. If that gap is too small when it's just freewheeling and this is running, it's going to generate too much friction and heat, damage itself. If the gap is too large, when the AC engages and it pulls this down, it's not going to be tight enough and it's going to slip and it's going to get hot and cause problems all the same. So using a feeler gauge, we can check the gap, and I could tell that was bottoming out. So I'm going to start with somewhere around 30 thousandths shims. You get a little shim pack with the kit in your hardware. Okay, so the kit actually had a 30 thousandths shim. I'm going to start with that. Drop that in. Let's take a look where it's at. Okay, so the 15 thousandths shim won't go in, so we don't even have minimum clearance. So we need to get something a little thicker in there. Okay, I have a couple stacked for approximately 50 thousandths clearance, or spacing I should say, over there. It's looking like about 18 thousandths clearance, which is perfect. I'm going to go ahead and snug down the center bolt and make sure we still get that same reading. Okay, 21 was too loose, 25 is too tight. Where are they hiding? 22, 20. Feels like we're about 24 thousandths clearance. Now it depends where you measure exactly. Well, we're in the range. I'm getting between 20, well, about 18, 19 to 24 thousandths, depending where I measure around here. So we're in clearance. It's probably not a perfectly machined surface. And this spins nice and freely and quiet. Everything's solid and straight. That's going to be much better. Might have noticed the tensioner is missing here too. Someone painted it black, and it was kind of messed up anyway. This pulley wasn't running real smooth. It's just seen better days. Decided to replace that guy. Grabbed a Gates one, nice and new, shiny. It's kind of odd they have a plastic pulley on it. We'll see how that holds up. This new belt is quite a bit shorter than the old one. Hopefully I can get it on. Okay, that belt was incredibly tight to get on there. And the reason I did that is because if you don't have the belt extremely tight getting on, it stretches out so much. In the first 5-10 minutes of runtime, this belt's going to stretch and this tension is going to go way down. If you already have it about halfway down, it's just going to go almost maxed out. Kind of like how it was when I got the car. I'm assuming that's what happened with the previous person. So, it might have looked crazy getting a super tight belt on, but that's what you need It's not 100% max, there was just a little bit of play left, and it'll go down in a few minutes of starting up here. Alright, last thing to do now is just fire it up, make sure the belt works correctly on the tensioner, and then turn the AC on and make sure that works properly. Here I'm just looking over everything, making sure this new serpentine belt's looking about the right length, the tension is good, and I can see the AC compressor is spinning nice and freely, that clutch is no longer catching like the old one. It looks like we're in good shape here so far. Gonna go ahead and turn the AC on, make sure it snaps on like it should, it's not slipping. Make sure there's no obvious issues or binding up again, belt's not jamming up. Looks like we're in good shape. Next time we'll get this car out, do a little more testing, get some miles on those new rear end, and do a little bit of shakedown, see what else is going on.